Glen Rice is here sitting down with us. He is, no doubt, a Miami Heat legend, and by the way, was drafted pretty high in the first round by this organization back in 1989. Feels like just yesterday.
Yeah, it does. I'm still happy about it, though.
Tommy and I were looking at videos on YouTube of the nice tan suit, Glenn.
Woo!
Yeah, you
Boy,
look good
was
that
I
night,
looking
man.
good or what? I'd be the laughing stock right now. You pull that up.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me I wasn't clean back then when I had it on.
Do you still have fond memories of that day? You remember it like it was yesterday, I imagine, Glenn?
I do. That's a moment that I'll never forget. Throughout the high school, junior high, college, working so hard, and finally getting an opportunity to have that dream come true. And you walk up there and in my nice tan suit,
Yeah.
and you get announced that you're the 4th pick and you go into the Miami Heat. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
There might be a sense of relief of getting picked by anybody right then and there. But when does it really start hitting you that it's the Miami Heat? How much did you know about them at the time? And how much was the excitement not only being picked 4th, but being picked by a franchise like that surely needed you?
Yeah, like you said, the anticipation and the thought of just being drafted is first and foremost. But then when you find out that at that particular time, the Miami Heat was a young organization. It was the 2nd year in the NBA. And I was super thrilled because I got an opportunity to grow with the organization at that particular time that was very young. And I'd never seen, outside of basketball, I'd never seen anything like Miami. I mean, when you talk about the culture, the people, everybody always like to say the women. I'm gonna say the beaches.
They didn't have beaches or women in Arkansas?
Yeah, no. Our beaches kind of like sitting around a cup. But that was like different for me, and knowing that I had an opportunity to be able to grow in that aspect as well, it was I was tickled to death.
Glenn, would you, at this point now, because he is an all-time franchise leader in three-pointers, do you relinquish the crown as Heat, Michigan Wolverine, greatest shooter to Duncan Robinson, or is it still you?
I know you didn't even let them words come out your mouth. You kidding me? Listen, the only reason why he got there is because he shoots so many of them. Now, where my shoes at? I had an opportunity to scout Duncan Robinson a lot. And when I seen this kid shooting the basketball, I had no doubt in my mind he was going to be one of the great shooters in the NBA. And because he's a Michigan guy, go blue, it's no hard feelings. I'll move over for a little bit, but by no means am I anointing him the best shooter. By no means.
I remember there was a camp. Bam Adebayo had the audacity to claim he could outshoot you. I know that you been impressed with the 3-ball that he added this year.
Hey, but you guys didn't taste what he had in his cup. Bam, come on. Bam was trying to get hits on social media. That's what he was trying to. Now, you know what? Bam is my guy, and Bam understands that he got to put in a whole lot of work even now to be able to, go out there and compete with me when it comes to shooting 3-pointers.
Who's the current player after you hung it up, Glenn, where, maybe you're in the gym and maybe it's Bam. They're talking a little smack to you and you just wish you could throw on your shoes and go show them, who you were back in the day.
Everybody. Everybody. You don't even have to talk trash to me. Just me looking at you, shooting all them 3-pointers and you thinking you one of the best shooters. Yeah, I'd like to get any one of them in the gym and show them that they're dead wrong.
There are so many people I've talked to from the 80s and the 90s who would always say, when you try to compare that era to now, they don't want to do it because they say, look, when I played, basketball was great the way that it was,
right.
Taking nothing away from now. But how much do you think what you were able to do could translate into what they do today as opposed to when you played back in the 90s?
Yeah, I think a lot. And for the simple fact, because I could shoot 3-pointers. And I was a big guy. I was a lot bigger than most small forwards at that time. And I had durability. And I was dead eye. So back then, if I shot 4 3-pointers in a game.
That was too many.
That was too many. So if I was from the get-go, knowing that, hey, I can jack up 15 3-pointers and the coach will not say anything. Come on.
So when you hear these press conferences, we're supposed to tell them like, "Hey, Tyler, get 20 up." That has to just be like, "Are you crazy?"
Man, I'm sitting at home with my dinner napkin on with knives and forks. Just like, please call me. 10 days. Give me a 10-day.
The transition 3-on-1 transition pull-up 3 from 30. That's got to drive you nuts too, right? Because they would have taken you out of the game.
I probably wouldn't have worked on my layup game that much.
But when you talk about these the prospects, that growth from year 1 to 2, like what is the thing? What do you remember about like going from year 1 to 2 that you wanted to get right after getting a taste of the NBA?
Yeah, that's huge. I don't think a lot of people with just first looking understands how big of a transition that is. I mean, I came out of college. In college, I was able to do a lot of things because I was much bigger than most guys. When I came to the league, I had to work extra hard to try and get open. I had guys like Scottie Pippen guard me all the time, and that was difficult. And I'm thinking like, man, this guy's my height. He got the length. He's quick, and he's a great defender. So I understood that at night, instead of going to sleep, I had to think about how I had to get the edge on him so I can get my shot off. And just all I needed was a split second. And once I was able to learn how to do that, then it became much easier.
But
sure.
Even then, you looked as comfortable as ever from the day you first arrived. When did you start feeling, Glenn, that you really had it, not only in your shooting, but your overall game?
Well, it would have to be after All-Star break. I think at that
Of the
point,
first year?
in the first year. At that point in time after All-Star break, I realized that, okay, you know what? It's time to take the training wheels off. I understand what I got to do now, and I just got to go out there and just do it because it ain't like I was trying to learn how to shoot all over again. I understood how to do that very well.
Glenn, before we let you go, the Miami Heat, and this is something we've talked about, the Miami Heat, that with Pat Riley here, kind of known as throw all your chips on the table, go get the superstar, the all-star, the veteran players. And now, if the Miami Heat do select at number 20 today or in the first round, it'll be the 4th consecutive year that they're drafting a player in the first round. First time they've done that since 02 to 05, Dwayne Wade in the mix there.
Right.
What does it say? I don't want to say there's a shift in priorities or a shift in thought process, but that this Heat team, the guys in Draft HQ tonight are focused on trying to bring in young talent and develop them as well.
Yeah, when you look at it, I think they're always focused. The Miami Heat, Pat Riley and those guys, they always got a game plan, and, they got 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. So they're never thrown off. They're not going to miss a step, regardless if it's going young or best available. They're going to get the job done. So we never question anything about that. Pat Riley, that's my guy. That's the godfather. And, we're just fortunate to have him running the show.
Glen Rice, genuinely appreciate you stopping by. If you see him out on the street, man, he's got his shoes ready to go, so don't challenge him.
Hey, man, come on. I stay ready to keep him getting ready.
I've heard that before.
G-Money, thank you so much, man. Really
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
There you go. Heat legend, Glen Rice.
Thanks, Glenn.
He's not messing around, huh, Tobin? He's
I apologize
serious.
for even mentioning Duncan Robinson. He's right, but it is
You'll
crazy.
remember that next time.
Tommy, when you said that, like the 4 3-pointers, I'm thinking like, man, how many times do we hear Spo say about Tyler? Like, I want him to try 20. I want him to it's.
He used to do that with Wayne Ellington.
I know.
I mean, going back a few years.
That's got to be like you imagine a guy like Glen Rice in a system like that in a day like that. It would have been just a playground for him.